screen flickers tales of crime and affection. Baristas mix caffeine with tales of deception. Lawyers joke and shadows plot their redemption. Case files like popcorn scatter on the floor. Jury's out in line, folks begging for more. Quirky loopholes twist through every door. Paparazzi flash for the courtroom encore. Legal shenanigans, theater, baby, where justice lasts. Crime and humor dance, baby, a curious path. Grab your ticket, honey, let the gavel smash. In the flood of laughter, see the road splash. Scoundrels with a smile, defense on their lips.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing your mod thing and setting it up before you went to have fun family time. So thank you so much. Welcome, Christine and Debbie Wolf, and I'm hoping you get to feel better. Not Wolf, Webb, sorry. English is my first and only language, and yet I can barely understand it sometimes.
Me
Tammy,
too.
welcome, Penny Williams and DK Cripple, and everyone. In case I missed you, welcome, and welcome to all the lurkers too. I know you're there. Thank you so much for, just being there. And, if you want a chat that you can kind of dip your toes into and see how this chatting stuff does, or goes, you can always just try out this chat or any of my chats. We're really friendly. We won't bite. Even Wolfram, who is a Darth, Lord, is not a biter.
Not hard.
But he is, the chief attendant of Lord Chippy, but that's more of a punishment thing. Not punishment for him, but punishment for others. And welcome, Alice G. So this is Tony Todt, Anthony Todt. And you might think, what is this butterball done? Why is this weird man dressed up like a painter? And he is a weird, strange little man. So strange, in fact, that he, went on to basically annihilate his entire family in Celebration, Florida, the town that Disney built.
Yes.
So basically, Anthony Todt and his wife Megan were both physical therapists. They were high school sweethearts. They'd gone and done everything kind of in tandem. And they lived in Connecticut originally. But unfortunately, Megan had possibly contracted Lyme disease when she was a child, and it only started affecting her in her later years after they'd had their children. So they had 3 children: Alec, age 13, Tyler, age 11, and Zoe, 4. Now, it was decided by the Todt family, since their physical therapy business was going so well. I mean, they had even opened a second branch, and Tony was investing all of this money in different really expensive physical therapy equipment, like an underwater treadmill. I can tell you, because I used to work in aquatic therapy, that those things are over $1K. I mean, they're closer to 2 or 3.
I believe he spent 10 grand on his.
He probably got
If I remember
very
correctly.
fancy one. But these are very expensive, kind of things. Now, Megan and the kiddos moved down to Celebration, Florida. They were Disney people. Like, they went, every break. They were just Disney obsessed. They decided to stay down there. So Tony would, fly in on the weekends and then go run the practice. And that kind of was the general sort of pattern in his life for a while. But he looked really stressed. He started gaining a lot of weight, leading to his butterball weirdo, what was the name? God, Chris Hansen. Would you like to take a seat? I mean, he looks like he's a contestant for that show. Yes, I will be super petty. I am going to be super petty in this one, because this man is just disgusting on so many levels.
Yes.
Well, turns out that Anthony wasn't doing so well after all. he was in fact charging patients for a bunch of visits and treatments they never had or never, received. And the feds found out. Now, in one of the strangest moves I've ever seen the federal government do, basically they hauled Anthony in, interrogated him, but let him go for the holidays because, of course nothing bad would happen.
Yeah.
That's the part of this story I don't get. Like he's like, "Look, can I have one last Christmas in Disneyland with my kids?" And the feds are like, "You know what? The ghost of Christmas past, future, and present came to me last night and told me to be really nice to you."
Yeah, that's about right. Sounds about right, yeah.
I've just never, in anything else that I've ever covered or seen, have they let someone go like, meh, it's just insurance fraud. It's not like you bilked Medicaid out of billions or
Yeah.
millions. So for whatever reasons, the federal government or the feds let him go and he goes down to Florida. And this is right around the time that the coof started being a real big thing. In fact, most families had, canceled their holidays and things like that. So the Tots kind of went off radar. They went off grid. And Anthony told people that, they might go off grid. They were going to try to be spiritual and Megan, his wife, was really into kind of, homeopathic remedies and spiritualism and things like that. So this was maybe not enough to ring alarm bells with the family until it was after New Year's and they still could not get a hold of the family and they were worried out of their minds. They'd called the cops that did one well check. I think the first time they called, no one answered the door, so they just figured they were out and kind of let it go. Well, while the family's really having no luck getting in contact with, the Tots, the feds are looking at their watches and their calendars, and apparently, just like everyone else, they were feeling a little after holiday blues and wanted to take it out on Anthony and go get him because he apparently just wasn't going to show back up like he promised, even Pinky promised. So the feds go down to Florida and they don't really wait to, oh, no one's there. I guess that'll be fine. And they kind of see movement in the windows. So they go into the house because they're pretty sure something is wrong. They're not entering the door, but they do see movement. So they go into the house and find this miserable troll oafish person kind of really, really out of it. You're going to notice this in the interrogation, which is why I'm kind of doing this intro. So they find this just human pile of dumpster trash in the house, acting loopy. But there is a horrendous smell just permeating this house. And unfortunately, the officers know what this smell means. And they find the boys, they're all in the master bedroom. Megan is on the bed. And unfortunately, they didn't find little Zoe for a while because she had been placed so close to her mother and she was so tiny that there wasn't really much left of her. And I'll just keep it at that. But it was a heartbreaking scene. But Anthony did not even leave the dog out of this. No, the dog had to go too. Now, police find interesting things about these bodies, even in the shape they are in. Megan has 2 knife wounds. Now, Tony is going to try to sell that they are doomsdayers. They are, preppers. And the entire family was sort of in on this, we're going to go out together kind of thing. The children and Megan were full, like maxed out to the point of unconsciousness on Benadryl.
Yep.
Now, it looks like Alec, the older son, really, really struggled and I think fought back even in his kind of drugged state. So it was not a clean sort of unaliving. He stabbed him as well, I do believe. Or no, he choked. Did he choke and stab him?
I think he did both to that one.
Yes, because he fought back. So The other little boy, I think he just smothered, and I say just, but the 4-year-old.
And
And
when you say
be-
smother, it means he put his whole body weight on them.
on them.
It wasn't
Yeah,
just choking them.
until they stopped moving. And he did the same for his little girl.
Yeah.
Now, the police and no one else has ever figured out the order of this. And Anthony lies like his, life depends on it. But in my personal opinion, I would think that you'd have to take care of Megan first, because I think a mother, even a mother who might have been fully on board with going through with cray cray, once she hears her kid screaming,
Yeah.
something activates, and she's not going to be able to sit there unless she is totally delulu. And from what I've heard from everyone in Megan's family, she was not delulu. She just, generally believed that Western medicine was kind of limited and was looking at Eastern and homeopathic medicine, and maybe broadening her spirituality beyond the Roman Catholic sort of church. And it does seem to be, because we will go over his his time on the stand, his testimony. And it really does seem that he was very, very upset that she was not maintaining her Roman Catholic beliefs. He's very dismissive of this.
Yeah.
And you'll find he's very dismissive of a lot of things.
Yeah. Including
okay.
the prosecutor.
Yes. And the reason I picked Anthony Todt, he is an a-hole on the level of Daryl Brooks, but he also gets put the fuck in his place.
Yes.
By the prosecutor, a woman, a Spitfire woman, and you can tell that this man does not respect women, that this man does not respect women who do not immediately kind of kowtow to him and, go with the greatness that is him.
Yeah.
Now, this is his first interrogation. This is an interrogation that the defense tried to get thrown out because, oh no, this is the second one. The first one was in the hospital.
Well, no, this is the first.
Okay.
I don't think the one. I think that thing in the hospital is they talked to him briefly, and then this is basically taking him from the hospital to here. And
that's right.
I believe there is another one, but it's so inconsequential to everything that I don't think that it really ever even came up in the trial. I don't think.
No, but you are going to notice. So Anthony, poor Anthony here, he had gone through with his plan. He was supposed to join his family in the here and after. And he tried everything, you guys. He tried everything. He tried to take more Benadryl. He tried to drink a bunch of liquor. He tried to shoot himself with a BB force multiplier. Now, the man is like 300 damn pounds. He tried to pew himself in the stomach with basically an airsoft.
Yeah.
I mean, and you'll hear him complain about it in here, but I did want to give you a warning that there is talk about, self-deletion. This does involve children. This is not a pretty case, but he does. There are reasons I pick people like him and Sarah Boone, because the worst thing for Anthony Todt to know is that people are out here taking the ever-loving Mickey out of him. Yeah. That's going to bother him more than possibly even his crimes. Yeah. That someone out here is making fun, we're laughing at him, not with him. It will burn his biscuits. And I am here to fulfill a role like my destiny. I am an a-hole avenger. I just need a cape.
Yes. Yes. He is a piece of work. Something you're going to hear quite often. Not only is it Benadryl, drinking Benadryl, it is a family-sized bottle of Benadryl. So get used to it. You're going to hear it way too many times. It's probably going to start to annoy you because it did me.
Yeah.
He also has a tendency to ramble. Something else that needs to be said is in this interrogation that he's in. Okay. It's going to sound like he's mumbling a lot, and it's going to sound like he is incoherent, and it's not real. It's there was some discussion during the actual trial that it's probable that he was faking a lot of this.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you have a difficult time understanding his incoherentness or whatever, it's completely intentional. So,
Yes. And like Chris, what's his name?
Chris Watts?
Yeah, like Chris Watts, he is going to eventually, his defense is going to be that this is all Megan's fault. Megan
Yeah.
commanded him. And you're going to realize how absolutely juxtaposed in absurdity his claim that Megan ruled him and his behavior towards the female prosecutor. He would not let a woman rule him. There in no way would he not be the king of his castle.
Yeah. It's this whole thing is gross. It
Yeah.
really is. But he is a peach. We'll say that.
He is the perfect, person. But yeah, he does mumble. He is going to claim that he was, insane or couldn't be held responsible. He doesn't remember anything. There's going to be a whole litany of excuse-oramas.
Yeah. And the funny
Oh,
thing
right.
is that he knows that he's insane and he knows that he's not able to be held responsible because of his actions, which is weird because if you were insane or not able to be held for your actions, how would you know that?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's definitely it's not a pretty case, but we are here to, roast and toast this man in Minecraft allegedly. I was going to say and just roast the ever living ish, but I'm trying not to curse as much ish. Look, one day with all my small little habits, I will be a fully functional adult. I fully expect that to happen around 84. Given my current trajectory. All right, let's get going. Just a little. Turn you down.
Let's see the attorney's up here real quick.
Can we start with the fact that he looks like the end of the Ghostbusters, the Marshmallow Man that attacks? The Stay Puft Marshmallow
Stay
Man.
Puft Marshmallow Man, yeah.
And I'm sure his triplets will be due in a couple days. He'll be the first.
Yeah. And the reason that they took all of his clothes, because this is why this is the first interrogation, is because they did take all of his clothes because he was literally in the house for I think you skipped this part. He was in the house with the bodies for 3
weeks. Yeah. The whole thing. And he went out a couple times. I think he tried to drop or lose his cell phone.
Yeah.
To kind of take them off
Yeah. I think he went to Sarasota, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's weird.
He definitely is gross. I mean, the fact that he could do this to his family, then live with the bodies when I say they were in bad shape, I mean, they were not good. Zoe, they really couldn't tell what happened to Zoe, but he will confess, and I will try to remember that time and pause it right there because it's grim. And if you don't want to listen to that, I don't blame you. And I'll try to put on the description about the time stamp. If I remember, I am attempting to remember. It's been a long week.
I've received an
Again, just to further put on the point, all he needs is a Subway sandwich, and he is right there with Chris Hansen. Yeah, I brought some, lube and a Subway sandwich for some reason. They always had a damn Subway sandwich. I'm like,
It's because they were
Did Jared from Subway have some subliminal kind of marketing going on?
exactly. That's why. It's because they were all friends with Jared.
You're a little low. I've turned you
Oh.
up.
Yep, I can fix it on this
Okay.
side.
I was like, I've done all I can.
No, I got it. I can get it on this side. It's all
I'm
good.
doing all I can, Jim. I'm giving her all she's got.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, yeah. And normally, guys, I don't body shame, but this is also something that Tony Todt is actually very vain about. He lost a good deal of weight in jail and has sent out multiple letters where he's talking about his squat thrust or what have you. So I know it's going to bother him. That's the only reason I do that.
Yeah. He's very vain.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that they both click their pens like synchronized watches.
John. And spell the last name again. Todt. Okay. Our case number is 20I004299. Well, let me turn this stupid thing off real quick. Maybe. I can figure this damn thing out, right?
Oh my god, I am this detective every day.
Just to let you know, I'm recording this. Just like the conversations we had the other day at the hospital.
Yes, they are recording, but with a Casio speaking spell.
I'm going to read it to you again before I speak to you, obviously. It's Miranda rights. I'm required to inform you that you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand? Can you speak up a little bit? Yes. Okay. Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand? Yes.
Ish,
If you're
dolly
not
talk,
entitled
ish.
to talk
In
to a
shape
lawyer
ish.
before and during questioning. Or, sorry, you are entitled
Round
to talk
is
to a
a
lawyer
shape.
before and during
Yes.
questioning.
Thank you to
Yes.
Awesome
Okay.
Dogs.
You cannot
I
afford a
am
lawyer
doing
while
well. I hope you're doing
provided.
well as well.
And during questioning without charge. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. I know verbally you said yes. If I could be so kind, or if you could be so kind, could I get your? You can read these. Okay. And I'll put your signature right there if you can.
I do love that they have him handcuffed and with a waist thingy.
You can read it
The
for
fact that he
later
has
on.
to
I know you
struggle
said
to sign
yes.
his name just tickles the hell out of me. I'm sure a team of therapists would have a field day with me.
Sure. Yeah. There we go. Sorry.
I mean, he's not going to run anywhere.
And I will go ahead and see it once, but sort of things to the side of the trail, correct?
My youngest, most feral's like, I'm going to sit in here with you.
Okay.
And I was like, no, you're going to get out. He's like, I can be quiet. I was like, in theory, yes, but out.
All right, and then we're speaking about our
That whole you have the right to remain silent, but not the ability.
299.
Pretty much. I'm going to turn this down a little more so, because it's really
Could I ask you, could you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear that
reverby.
everything that we're speaking about today is going to be the truth and nothing but the truth, the best of your knowledge, so help you God? Yes. Okay. All right. It's a very tragic event, very unfortunate event. Earlier this week, we were called to your home. Obviously, I'm just doing this. All three of us have already spoken. I don't know what they treated you for. I don't know if it was something to do with some liver, kidneys, or something like that, enzymes or something. Benadryl overdose. Benadryl, okay. How do you feel right now?
Regarding health wise,
Yeah, I mean,
I feel very sad and very upset that I'm still here. And
yeah.
The fuck did you think you were going?
Well,
I just murdered my family and lived with their decomposing corpses, but I figured I'd be able to walk right up out of here.
yeah. I mean, not to be too judgy, but I think the answer to that question, Mo, is straight to hell.
Yes, I hope so. I hope the Adam Sandler, Little Nicky movie is true and he'll get the old Austrian painter treatment. I'm just saying. I love Adam Sandler movies, even when they're incredibly, incredibly terrible.
I may be guilty of that too.
Every time I watch Billy Madison, I'm like, this is so dumb. Why do I love it? But then they start singing and the clown comes back to life. And I'm like, Billy, go back to school. And I'm like, I didn't love this movie.
I know. That's why it has to be one of my most favorite movies.
Is there somewhere else you'd rather be?
With my family, nothing yet on the other side.
On the other side?
Mhm.
Okay. And you do know your wife and children are deceased?
Yes, that's where I want to be.
That's where you want to be? Okay.
You
All
know,
right.
this might be the only time where I'd be okay with the cops saying, okay, sounds good, let me deliver. Reason number 50 billion, I am not a cop.
True. Very true.
Like I want to be with my family. Okay, sounds good. Everyone sit on him until he can't breathe.
Yeah.
Allegedly in Minecraft.
Yeah. Yes.
I so need that clip of the principal just saying like, nothing
yeah.
you said came close to a coherent thought. We are all dumber for having listened to you. May God have mercy, or I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yes.
Yes.
And stop
Oh,
looking at
such
me,
a-
Schwan.
I know. And, we're never going to have movies like that again. Because he's doing Grown Up 73.
True. True.
Yes.
Well, some progress has been made since we last spoke. Okay, I had the unfortunate event of attending their autopsies yesterday. Okay, and we'll get to the kind of the details on that. There are some questions that
So, Sharon, what I think is that he had finally done something. He seems to have, not in this state, but he seems to feel like he's very charming and very personable and could talk his way out of, the insurance thing. I think he was just coming up with a plan. So the plan and the alibi that he's going to use is that Megan was the kind of initiator. She wanted to go to the other side, end quote.
Yeah.
And she was the one who unalived the children while he was out on a jog. Yes. A jog. Or I think he fell asleep at the condo. Like just the most convoluted, stupid alibi where no one can actually check it.
Yeah. He was sleeping
he
in the van
claims-
at the condo.
Yeah, he claims that he came home and the Benadryl had been put into a pie.
Yeah.
Like a Jello pie, but he didn't eat the pie because he's on a diet.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Nutty Professor diet. Anywho,
Yes.
look. I am going to be all the petty. I am in full, Empress of the Pettyverse mode. This man is not good, and it's going to bother him.
You will see how vain that this man actually is, because there was something that you just said that reminded me of something else that he actually said, and it had to do with Megan. So one of the things that he comes up with, okay, is that before, or when he stabbed her the second time, he said that she smiled and laughed at me and said, I finally found something that you couldn't do right.
Oh yeah, because she wasn't dying quickly enough. You will see in his testimony, he says, yes, I was trying to get the interior vena cava. Like he's throwing out words. So Tony fancies himself a doctor, but he is not. He is a physical therapist. And I'm not putting down physical therapists. They do great jobs. And in Indiana, I think it's moving to a doctorate program in order to get your physical therapy license. So this is in no way a, swipe at them or the whole profession. But he will present himself as an MD in any subject, cardiology, immunology, all sorts of things that he will fancy himself a real doctor.
Yeah.
And the prosecutor gets under his, like, it is glorious. I am so tempted to go straight to his testimony, but in order for you guys to understand the testimony and how it changed from his interrogation, because in his interrogation, he takes responsibility. Now, on the stand, he said, I lied. Just Sarah Boone. He's the male Sarah Boone.
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, I lied to protect Megan, but Megan done did it all. And I tried to help her unalive, so I stabbed her once, and then she wasn't dying enough. So I rooted around for her anterior vena cava, and, because that's a big one. And then I strangled her or smothered her and she was laughing at me saying, this is finally something you aren't good at.
Yeah. Whatever that thing is that you keep saying sounds so sexual.
Yeah.
Her Anna what?
Anterior vena cava.
Yes, I don't know why that just sounds so dirty.
Well, yeah. And I don't know, I might be misquoting him on the exact medical terminology, except I know it was the vena cava.
It sounds close, yeah.
He kept saying it.
Yeah, it sounds about right, actually, from what I can remember. But remember it's like, it sounds so dirty for some reason.
It does. And the fact that he went out multiple times, I mean, 2 or 3 times, leaving his dead family there, it's just... So Sarah Boone, I'll make an example that really struck me in the trial. And it was a small little thing. But when they asked her about the marital health, my God, I hated hearing. I was like, you did not even honor one marital vow. Shut up.
Yeah.
But if you notice, when she was asked who lives in the house, no one. Now, it's not because someone isn't living there now. It's because she doesn't care who lives there now. It is no longer, something she thinks about. So she automatically doesn't care, or they are classified as no one.
Yeah.
And it seems to be the same way once Anthony Todt got, rid of his family, they ceased to exist for him. I mean, maybe he compartmentalized to the point where he could stay in that house.
Yeah, it's a very disturbing thing to see it, because there are, now that you say that, there are some similarities like that to Miss Boone.
Well, it's the overarching idea that you can do nothing wrong, or if you did something wrong, it was in the service of, helping others, and you should be given like a pass, a mulligan, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very strange way to think, and I have long realized that I'll never understand the way that they think, so I've given up trying to understand it. But it is a very interesting similarity.
And I do this multiple times, but when it strikes me, but I do appreciate and thank you to all the first responders and police officers, EMTs, the medical examiners. I mean, people that have to look this tragedy in the face and actually deal with it. Yeah. I'm sure that this is just etched on their souls, and I hope that they have the mental health help and things like that, because I couldn't imagine walking into these scenes.
Yeah, that's for sure. This one is especially gruesome.
Yeah. And he's over here just sitting like, I don't know, what, am I going to get lunch? Like, do you have Pop-Tarts? I mean, just the way he sits pisses me off. He's so well, I mean, he has to man spread because he's got I'm going to say it, a gunt. I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, and the biggest piss off, this motherfucker. Okay. And I say this with the full fury of all womankind. All fucking womankind. This man had the fucking nerve to go on to I am cursing and I'm sorry, but this pisses me off beyond. On the stand to say that his wife, who was dealing with Lyme disease and had lost weight, was no longer attractive to him because she lost her womanly curves. Sir, you look like a gremlin. You probably couldn't even see your Winky or play with it because your arms look short. So, you know what? I wish Megan had left you and found a good man. You stupid fuck. You want to talk about someone's body when you look like, you're going to be next on Chris Hansen's, thing, or in one of those mobilized scooters and with one of those, pick her up things because you can't bend over? Miss me with that noise, you incredibly wiener-shaped man.
Wiener-shaped.
I wanted to say something even worse, but
Oh dear. Tell us how
Yeah.
you really feel, Mo.
I don't know. I think I got it all out.
Oh
Let's
dear.
get back to the before I just curse out and YouTube is like, what the hell is going on? It's funny because when I curse out, my streams are generally green, but the Courtney Clenny one, completely yellow. Probably because of the boobs.
I think that they actually are paying attention to that one because they have scrubbed YouTube of a lot of her videos because there are actually some things that are a little incriminating in some of the videos that used to be up that she had on. Like her posing because she was a model, right? So she's posing in front of a tree with a knife, like that looked very similar to the knife that was used in that thing, and it was like blade deep into the tree, like behind her.
So
Like-
could Courtney Clenny be her own expert in knife throwing?
She could be actually.
I need a lawyer.
Yeah. So I think they're actually paying attention because they have scrubbed quite a lot of stuff off.
That makes more sense. I always figured that they saw a nip that I didn't, mostly because I don't care because I have boobs at home.
Yeah. No, I do think that they're paying attention to that one because there's a lot of stuff that's not there anymore.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's get back to this. He is gonna be a moron.
What I've witnessed yesterday and then what we've last spoken about. So just to clear my mind and go through everything, I'd like to just start from the beginning, if we can. How we led up to where we're at right now. Okay.
For a while, my wife decided,
I love that the closed captions were even like, I'm not gonna listen. Let's put on some music.
Closed captions always for the win.
watching these videos, talking about the afterlife, talking about some shit out, talking about how families good. So,
Slow down a little bit right now. I'm just having a hard time keeping up with you. So
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Let's speak up.
And in watching these videos and watching everything going on, she presented them to me, and I started watching them with kind of a uneasy, whatever. And the more and more we watched, the more and more I gained an understanding that there is more than this life here. There's a higher.
Were you two also high when listening to these?
And then we started researching. And
Now,
then we started
the
finding.
interesting thing is that there are not many. I mean, they went through his computer and he researched how to self-delete, but it didn't show like these mini videos of, moving to the other side and things like that. So
Yeah.
he is starting to build an alibi. You can see sort of the crafty nature that he's starting to display. He's already crafting his, alibi when he really should be calling his lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
And more about the world just coming to the end, the apocalyptic end, and that families may be separated and enslaved, and it's better to avoid this, to all go together. Okay?
You mean die together?
Back together, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay? So, because my wife's been chronically ill for a while, this really appealed to her, and because it appealed to me also, because she wouldn't be in any pain, found I wouldn't be separated. There would be no more sorrow, no more heartbreaking, no more anything. It would be a salvation and everlasting life. Okay?
Mhm.
So we kept doing our research, reading up things, meditating, and decided that, yeah, this should be a thing. This should be what we should do. Okay? We had sat down and talked with the boys.
Okay, and this is the most effed up thing he says. I'm gonna try to stop cursing as much, but probably when I get pissed off again. But this man claims, out of his mouth comes these words, that they basically sat the kids down, and asked them if they wanted to remain a family. And then from this, allegedly, he and Megan, say, okay, well, obviously they don't want to be separated. So, go with this. Now, the problem with this entire story is that the boys, I think, were signed up to do another music lesson or thing like that. So if you're getting ready for the apocalypse and you think that, the rapture, although God, again, could you consider an asshole rapture? I mean, just think about it. It's still biblically correct-ish. But if you take all the assholes out, I'm just like, come on, God. Let's think about this. I am going to get struck by lightning tomorrow. I really am.
Not wrong, though. Not wrong.
I know. This is why I can't have my own religion, because I would endorse an asshole rapture. I mean, they'd all go and get fixed and not be assholes anymore.
Well, maybe.
Well, I mean, you go to heaven. I'm sure God's like the manufacturer, so it's return to get them refurbished, send them back down here. I'm willing to.
I can see it.
I can dig it. Reason number 73, I should have a cold.
Different things about, death and the way what would happen if mommy died, how would you feel, what happened when daddy died, what would you feel? And because this response was that we don't want you to die, we want to die with you.
It said no 12-year-old and 13-year-old ever, or 11 and 13-year-old.
Yeah.
So what he is claiming is that the boys and everyone was on board with this. Yeah. Now, that seems to be, again, disputed, because Alex, the 13-year-old, Tony is going to say that he had to go for him first, because he was going to be the one that would put up a fight. Now, you had this whole talk with them, got them, all psyched up for the big, rapture-y thing. And then he fights you. Mm-hmm. This man deserved all the, guilties in the world. And possibly it does seem like he might be trying to get a new trial. But in current-ish Anthony Todt news, as of August 1st, he is suing the federal, making a federal lawsuit in which he is pro se. So I do need to see these filings. I think Jedi just sent them to me. But he is suing the prison system for $9.9 million because they released his letters. Now, maybe he is confused about the state that he got caught in, but Florida has some of the most strict sunshine laws ever. So, sir, Mr. Sarah Boone, everyone can see those letters, you stupid moron. But continue with your filings, because I need something to read.
Yeah. He plays it off like he's a smart cookie, and I'm sure in order to become a physical therapist, there's a lot of schooling you have to go through, but he may be like the dumbest smart person that you would ever see.
He is the dumbest criminal ever. Like, he didn't flee the scene. He didn't, set this up a long time coming, like starting to lose weight, thinking he's going to get healthier, then changes his appearance just to scotch. Then, family goes missing and he's living in, Havana. I don't understand. This is not that hard.
Yeah.
I'm giving criminals tips as we go along. Like, plan this out in advance. Do not write it down. Do not Google anything unless you are on incognito and on a VPN and in Guam, allegedly in Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, this is the same thing that happened to Chandler Halderson. He did the same
Yes.
thing. He didn't think about like what he was going to say or do, and didn't think that anybody was going to miss his family. Like,
Yeah.
he just didn't think about it ahead of time, and it's like, and so
I don't think he's
caught off
capable of
guard.
thinking of it. I mean, so he presents, and I'm not a mentalologist, nor even a phrenologist, so I couldn't even, touch his head, which I wouldn't want to do without gloves, but see if he has, a criminal head shape. It was a true thing, 1900s, go look it up. They were testing the bumps on the heads of, criminals, and then, there were all sorts of regions on your head that would explain what was going on.
Interesting. I wonder if I have a criminal head shape.
I don't know.
I'm interested now.
I know they have models where you can look at all the regions and stuff, but that's about, look, it was a late night on YouTube. It came up on my thing. I
We've
know
all
a
been
lot of
there.
things I shouldn't. I know some Yiddish words now. I mean, I will be killer on Jeopardy until I, get all stage frighted. And especially having to answer in the form of question.
I was going to
like,
say,
no.
that part.
Or spell it right at the end and the big challenge. Like, the hell do you spell discombobulation?
Yeah.
Let's get back to the interview. I love that it's 90% tangent and we get about 10% done, but we actually got through a full video a while back. I was proud of us.
Did you guys start talking to the children about this? Or Jake right now?
No, it was before Thanksgiving.
Okay. And your wife first showed you these videos when?
When she started watching them, or she first started showing them to me in April.
April. Okay. And what was she using to watch these?
Her Microsoft Surface laptop.
And that's the one in the blue case?
Yes.
Okay.
Flip, yes.
All right. Okay. Go on. So you talk to the children.
Talk to the children, just get general understanding of what they want to do on time. And they didn't want to live without us. Okay? We didn't point blank say we're going to die and, leave you behind. But, what would you do if mommy and daddy died? And we don't want to live without you. We don't want to live without you.
Again, never in the history of parenting have I ever brought this up. I have 6 children. One is 18. I've been doing this for a while. Never have I ever said, if I kick the bucket, would you want to come with me?
Yeah. I believe my parents neglected to ask me this as well.
And here's a correlation with Sarah. He is coming up with the most dumb fuck, like, what the hell, not relatable, no one is going to look at this rationally and say, yeah, this seems real.
Yeah.
And he is not aware, he is not capable with whatever mentalness he has to understand that no one is going to buy this damn story.
Yeah. It's
So
just,
he is the female Sarah Boone. Unfortunately, he took out much more people and a
Yeah.
doggo. And
yeah.
Mr. Todt, you are lucky that people did not really know about the doggo until, the trial, because there are many people that like dogs more than people. And you
Yeah.
would have gone to old Sparky.
Yeah. Yeah. They would have brought it back just for him.
Yes.
We didn't want to live without them either. We wanted to bring the whole family together and make it transverse together. Okay? So we were coming up with different things of how we could do this. We didn't know how we could do this because we're not violent people. Okay? Not violent people at all. First we said, what if we...
This very nonviolent person smothered and or stabbed every one of his family members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a dog.
But, he's not a violent person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Started reading different things. There's something came on TV about cough medicine.
I did know that.
Okay?
It
They
seems
have
really
cough
creepy.
medicine. So
Okay.
they put them to sleep, they overdose of cough medicine.
I need to have a rant. Maybe this is a personal feeling. There are several groups of people that confuse me. And Disney adults have to be the ones that most confuse me. And if it is your jam, awesome possum. I mean, have fun, go to Disney. But Disney is the amalgamation of every single thing I hate all in once. So many people, too expensive, too hot, weird people in costumes that want to hug you, and Disney adults. Because they're always just so excited. And I get you're excited, you want to be here, but I am done peopling right now. So even your enjoyment is bothering.
Yeah. It is a weird thing with, I mean, I know people who are adults that like Disney, but then there's the people who are adults that like love Disney. Like there's a difference.
Like the influencer people they make me want to they make me irrationally upset for some reason. I don't know why. I don't generally watch their channels, but if one pops up on my feed, I'm like, God dang it. It's like when I have to hear, I only have one song that bothers the hell out of me because I think they just played it over and over in a loop on every single radio station my mother did. But the reggae version of Red Red Wine makes me irrationally, violently angry. And I don't know why. I mean, it's an okay song. I have nothing against the song, but it just irritates me to the point that I change the channel.
Oh, you don't like UB40?
I swear to God, every single, soft rock station my mom listened to, every 45 minutes, it was Red Red Wine. And it's such a long damn song. It goes so effing slow. And as a kid, it's a never-ending torture. I think it's like a 4-minute song, but it's like a never-ending torture of this song that you really don't like.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Anyway, now that I've told you what things make me irrationally angry for no reason, therapist, if you want to come figure this one out, you might need to make a DSM-7. Or no, wait, are they on
6?
6? All right, yeah, 7's correct.
Or wait, no, they're on 5. It would be 6.
5.
Yes.
I'd probably need 2 volumes, let's be real.
2 iterations just for Mo.
Yeah, the early years and then, everything else.
Off medicine, just put them to sleep. Making that nice peaceful bath. Okay. So my wife made a pudding pie, jello pie. Froze it. Nothing happened.
What was in the pie?
What was in the pie? Sleep, ease, these different things with drama, how you this stuff to put you to sleep.
You said you have a medical background.
Okay, and also this midwit, this half brain, instead of saying Benadryl, he always says the chemical name for it. Now, again, it's easier to say Benadryl. It's easier for it to be communicated. Sometimes being smart means not putting $15 words in. It means knowing when not to put them in.
Yes, because again, this goes back to the whole thing about him claiming that he's discombobulated and everything else. It's like, well, you seem to know exactly what you're talking about here. And that's not one of those things that's like an average word that people know. Like, I don't know what the active ingredient in Benadryl is. Like, I
do know that it makes me incredibly antsy. I cannot take Benadryl. I have to take Claritin or something else. Benadryl, I know it puts most people to sleep. It makes me incredibly hyper.
Yeah, and I've heard of that before. And
yeah,
but I still couldn't tell you what the
I don't
ingredients
like
are.
diphenhydramine or something. I mean, I would butcher the name of it, so I would end up looking stupider, which is why I just say Benadryl or generic Benadryl. Like I'm gonna buy a family bottle of. I'm just not that I'm planning on doing this. I'm just saying when I buy stuff, I buy great value.
Yeah.
Medical, but not a chemical background.
Not a chemical. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a physical therapist.
Okay. So you don't have all the terminology and
No.
Is your wife?
She's a physical therapist. No.
Okay.
We look it up and
Sounds good, Pete.
Just fixing to ask, where did you guys do the research at?
we went up and down honestly up and down the aisles
Sounds
of
good.
the Publix and asked the the drug.
It's
addict
very
falls asleep,
possible he
falls asleep.
did.
You know, what's something that puts you to sleep? No trouble falling asleep.
When did you guys start doing this research?
Now I started researching.
So it is theorized that it is more likely that he overdosed the family or tried to dose the family with increasing amounts of Benadryl, so that they wouldn't fight back.
Yeah.
Now, that's kind of the logical and what most rational people think went on, just looking at the evidence. Now, he will claim that, yeah, they ate the Benadryl pie and everyone was asleep, or he came back, from being away and found everyone unalive except for his wife.
Yeah.
But
His
it
story changes multiple times.
the problem is the story doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Just
well, that
like
too.
the hide and go seek didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And he does not have the emotional intelligence to realize that no one is going to buy this.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I got all the gold coins. Gold. Dear Lord, again, English first language, no mastery of it.
Relatable.
I also have a bitch about the I before E except after C, because that never works in half of the words. And then autocorrect looks at me like I'm an idiot. I'm like, no, I'm trying to follow the thingy, but the thingy lies.
True. Rules were meant to be broken, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah, I started research before Halloween, but I just intermittently tried to figure out what was going on.
Okay.
We found out that the best drug to use was that drama. It's the stuff in Benadryl. That's the safest way to put it away. That's the safest way to put it in. So it didn't work. So we kept thinking, talking, and just researching different things. And finally, we started researching. We said, we're just going to have to do some sort of examination, okay, to the death. Okay, that's how they used to do it way in the back, but they used to do sacrificial things.
You take a plead to death?
Bleed to death.
Oh, bleed to death, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're like, we're going to do this harmlessly, but we might need to make a blood sacrifice.
Yeah, for some reason that didn't stick with me. So
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't remember this because I've seen this before, but giblets. Like, again, you're trying to sell this sort of fantastical story that doesn't jive with what everyone knows of Megan and the children. So you're already going to have to kind of craft your story in a relatable way. Say, if you're a criminal, you're going to have to, keep it realistic, keep it within sort of the character features that they have. And you could, frame it as Megan was very depressed. She's dealing with a chronic illness. She has all of these complications. She wanted to go. Then I didn't want to be left behind, so I wanted to go with her. And then I didn't want to leave the kids. So it's still a despicable story.
Yeah.
But it's much more believable. And it does, again, kind of go passive voice. Like, look, I did these things, but they were not kind of I wasn't the initiator. I didn't come up with this plan.
Yeah. There would be other ways to approach it.
Yeah, so he would still, but it might have been manslaughter. Like I was under duress. I was, highly intoxicated with stuff, not, but he makes such a fantastical story that no one gets. And it's the same thing with Sarah Boone. The hide and go seek thing was never going to work as a story. And it is interesting to see people make up these ridiculous stories and not realize that no one else is going to understand this. They lack the ability of empathy and perspective. They can't change theirs, and they feel like they're pretty sure everyone else thinks just like them. They have no ability to step outside themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, because some of the way the stories and stuff that like some of these people come up with, it's like I don't understand how they thought that this was a good idea, or that like somebody was going to believe this. Like I just don't. My mind
Yeah.
can't comprehend that they thought that this was a good idea. Like I
Yeah.
just can't wrap my mind around that, because it's like it's just
Well,
so
it's
fantastical that
yeah, it's the same reason that he didn't think anyone was going to look for them until, months and months later. I mean, I don't know if he would have stayed in the house for that long, but he didn't think that his family were people, that they would
Yeah.
have people that would look for them. It's the same sort of glaring thing you see in the Chandler Halderson, the Joel Guy Jr., Sarah Boone case. I mean, they're all just dingleberries.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to a rational person.
Yeah, let's get back to the blood sacrifice that we all apparently forgot about.
Okay. And so we started researching where would be the easiest to stab to do when so the kids could bleed to death, maybe in combination with the sleep drug. Okay.
Maybe in combination.
That's how everything led up to be. Okay.
This asshole knew he was not in shape to kill his son, so he drugged them.
Yeah.
Now you're saying you and your wife did this together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in doing all the research and everything, how did we get to Monday morning? What take me back to the holidays? When do you think the children died? That type of stuff.
I'm still trying to remember when the children died. I can't put those pieces together.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
How about I put you together
Stick around for the Christmas holiday
with
concert.
Daryl
We
Brooks?
didn't want to disappoint that.
Did you guys celebrate Christmas Day?
No, the kids are dead before Christmas.
Because family is saying that they spoke with Megan the day after Christmas. Was Megan alive the day after Christmas?
No, she died right the day after the boys did.
Right. I remember you saying that the other day. That's why I've made contact now with your family and with Megan's family.
Hey, moron. You might want to change your story. Your wife was still alive. You did this like the day after Christmas. You giant jackass. I hope you trip and Gen Pop justice happens allegedly in Minecraft. Well, he does have moobs. I'm just saying he might be attractive.
I mean, true. I mean,
And
you have
he's
no
not
idea
gonna-
what kind of tattoos he has on his back.
Not imagining that right now for my own pleasure, like Schadenfreude is my personal religion.
Family. And so Megan's family is 99% sure that looking back through cell phone records and stuff that they spoke with her, not text message. They spoke with her the day after Christmas.
No.
And she said the children were sick.
No.
Okay, so you're adamant that they died before Christmas?
Yes.
Okay. The children, you said, died 24 hours or so a day prior to Megan?
Correct.
Okay, so let's go to the day of their death. How did this go down?
If this is going to be tough testimony, tough stuff to listen to. If you have a problem, this does involve children. It's not going to be easy to hear. So I have absolutely want you to, take care of your mental health. It's not worth it to me to get more viewers if it's going to really, send you in a bad spiral. And you're the only one that can protect your mental health. So, decide if you want to, step out. That is fine. I will let me write down the timestamp here because I did want to put a timestamp when he talked about the kids. All right, so that is.
Yep.
I'm looking on my screen, but it's up on the red thing. It's the red, thing, Mo, not the time on the daggone Interrogation.
Yeah, it's about an hour and 4 minutes in.
Yeah. So I will put a timestamp in the description when this part is done, and then if you want to watch it again with the timestamp and just skip to the next part, that is totally cool. Or if you don't want to watch the rest of it, that is also cool.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. So I'm gonna give you a couple minutes or a couple seconds to get scooch on out if you don't want to hear this,
Yeah.
and then we will head forward.
Yep. It's rough.
Do.
It's not a fun
And
one.
he's sitting so casually. Again, this doesn't hurt him. If I think I would be catatonic with
Yeah.
trauma if this was something that I had.
Because he brings that up. That's one of his excuses, is that he was so distraught and all of this. But I would encourage you, if you're going to stay, pay very close in how he's getting ready to talk about what he's getting ready to talk about. And I think that most normal people would be reacting in a different way than he is.
Yeah, he
to
does not
this.
break down. He is very straightforward, linear, and
Yeah.
unemotional.
He's talking about it like somebody would be recanting something that they saw in a movie or something, like
he's-
just something so casual.
Yeah, he's talking about it like he, went to McDonald's, which he did several times while his family was not alive. Like, I went to McDonald's, got to the drive-thru, got a biggie size because, but a Diet Coke because I'm trying to be good. That kind of thing. It doesn't register on any emotional level with him. And even in his trial testimony, he didn't get choked up. He didn't get authentically choked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, I've given you guys a warning. I'm writing down 107 because that's when this actually is going to start. And we are going to go ahead.
Woke up at 11:30 at night. We set the alarm for 11:30 at night, and got up out of bed. And it was to do Zoe first.
Okay.
Meg walked me to the room, and she walked back into our room.
Step by step. So you guys are sleeping in the master room, I'm assuming,
Yes, my wife and the dog.
and the puppy. Okay. Which boy was upstairs?
Zoe was upstairs in her room.
Okay.
Alex was upstairs in his room. Tyler was asleep downstairs in the library room.
And why again was he down there?
The two of them were sick, so we kept them apart.
Okay.
Again, why would you do that if you think the rapture is coming and the whole family
So
and the whole family is like on board?
Yeah.
Again, there's these little things that, okay, this is the reason Mr. Mo does not like watching movies with me. Because, so take the Dune movie. So I've not read Dune. I have no intention of reading Dune, but I did listen to like a 3-hour long history of Dune, everything. And I don't know if this pisses off anyone else. This is a full tangent day. It's been a bad paying week. I am sorry. But okay, so you live in the Dune universe. Most people are a-holes, okay? So the Atreus or whatever the little Twinkie kid's, family is, gets a gift from the Emperor to move to a place with a... I have an echo. Let's see here. I thought I had echo cancellation. I have echo cancellation on.
I'm not hearing it.
I'm hearing a little echo, but I thought it was just me. And I'm on...
Ironically, I think echo cancellation actually turns echo on.
Okay, well, let me see. Actually, yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah.
What the hell, echo?
You're going to have to boost your volume up, though, because it shifted your volume significantly when you turned it off.
Yeah. Stop being an asshole, StreamYard. Okay,
Yes.
so You already know that the, weirdos with the pale skin that live on this current planet, like, are the worst a-holes ever, okay? So you go in there thinking everything's going to be cool. You don't bring, like, hella troops and have all of your smart people, like, figuring things out and figuring you're not going to get betrayed. Like, I would trust not one effing person. I would, be strapped all the time. But they're like, tra la la, this'll be great. And then the little weird kid is supposed to have like these, high dreams. I love it. It's all about getting high. It's just, I was like, this is a stoner movie.
But with space. I actually don't know.
and-
I have not read the books. I've
And
not seen the movie.
Zendaya being like insufferable.
I don't even know who that is.
She's Mary Jane from the new Spider-Man with the little 12-year-old kid.
I haven't seen that either.
You're not missing. a
I'm
whole
not
lot.
up with pop culture.
I mean, they're sweet movies. They're cute. The Homecoming one is cute, but look, it's not that I don't like Zendaya, but she has like one facial expression, and she's like the one chick from Twilight who has one facial expression.
Oh, okay.
And you're in a field where you're supposed to, I don't know, emote for the love of God.
Okay. It's that kind of a thing. Okay, because I've never seen Twilight either, but I know the lady you're talking about, because memes.
You're not missing much. It's sparkly vampires. I don't know how all of us got conned into that.
I don't know how everybody did either, because I heard something about sparkly vampires and was like, I don't know why you would watch this. I mean, like, Interview with the
I should have
Vampire was
said
pushing
no.
it.
But I got, sucked in. And then I was like, this is dumb. This is all dumb. What did I do? Why? It's like if you see old pictures of yourself during your emo phase and you're like, oh hell. That was a choice. Let's burn this, Mom. No, I want to keep it. You look cute. I remember that. Well, then if you remember that, then we don't need the picture.
You
And I'm
have
going to need the
memories.
film.
You have a working memory. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah. I have tried to take pictures out of my mom's house. She finds me, though. It's upsetting.
So we walked to the door, put it to the door, Megan and I hugged and kissed, and pretty much we know what you need to do. Come back at me when we're done. So I went into Zoe's room,
Truth.
and it took me 2 or 3 hours sitting there because it's a tough. But the everlasting salvation and the thought of that everlasting salvation was there, and I needed to save her soul to want her to be with us. Rain kept coming in. What's going on? I'm like, it'll be done in a little bit. It'll be done in a little bit. It's getting past that. I'm not. The initial thought was to stab into the umbilicus above the navel, so I could get the inferior vena cava or the abdominal aorta. And
Okay, it's inferior vena cava. I'm sorry. I said anterior. But you
That's
will
close
hear
enough.
this ad nauseum
Yeah.
through this trial.
Yeah.
would be bleed out with no time whatsoever. And then
Why not the femoral
I know I
artery, you
tried.
giant
I don't know if
retard?
I ever punched
I mean,
it.
sorry.
I don't know if I did or not. I saw a little mark on her.
You get cut in your femoral artery, you have about 60 seconds or so.
Yeah. I mean, oddly enough, I think it was this week, I was watching something where some crazy lady swiped a police officer with a knife and she nicked
Lord.
his carotid. And because he was so quick thinking, he actually applied enough pressure that he was good. But the doctor who fixed it said that if she would have slashed down and not upwards, he would have died.
Yeah, it seems like such a ridiculous thing. If you were really learned, you would know about the femoral artery.
Yeah.
And it's so much more personal. I mean, I guess all of it is personal, but I guess somehow in my mind, and I don't know how my mind works, a slash to the leg is more impersonal than actually looking in the face and getting the umbilicus. So getting your belly button, it just, it seems so much more evil to me. And
Yeah.
I don't know why, because they're both evil. So
Yeah, it's just more personal.
yeah, and I can't imagine looking at your child and thinking, okay, and if you thought you were going to hey, dumbass, if you think you're going to everlasting salvation and all that, you would say it in kind of a Lori Vallow voice. You'd be like, they're with eternal, salvation. They are good. I mean, you would be totally at peace with this whole thing, except for the fact that you didn't go, but you would be like, they're now in a better place. You would continue to say, yes, I did this, but they're in a better place now. They have eternal salvation. If you're going to sell this, but you're obviously stupid, and I'm sorry for the use of the R word, but I did grow up in the 90s, and could we bring those insults back, not as a, slur against anyone, but just could we bring it back? Because I find myself saying it all the time, that and the other words that we're not allowed to say anymore.
It is weird how it's changed.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I saw anything. But then she rolled and started scribbling, and I put my hand over her mouth and I put a pillow over top of her. So she went, and then she started to fade away. And I just held that until there was no motion left.
So you didn't lay on her?
I did lay on her when she laid on her belly. I'm sorry, I laid on her to keep her down, and I put the pillow on top.
Okay.
This is a 4-year-old child. You see how big this man is. He laid on her until she stopped moving.
Yeah. Yeah. And how
he's talking
casually
about
he said
in
it.
This, yeah. It is mind-blowing that he thinks he's going to go home after this.
Yeah, well, and to this point, so I've held my tongue for a little bit, but he has talked about how she was exploring Eastern religions and stuff, but he's mixing up a couple things because Eastern religions don't have eternal salvation, at least not in the same way.
Yeah.
And so he's actually not even talking about it in the correct way. If they were doing all of this research into it, it's not the same thing. Like, depending
isn't
on...
it more of a reincarnation thing?
There's reincarnations, there's nirvana, like there's different states that you can reach, which are different than what he's talking about. And even the way that he's talking about eternal salvation, that is a very Orthodox, and he is Orthodox Catholic. That is a very Orthodox Catholic way to say it. Like, he's not even just calling it salvation, which is kind of a more generalized Christian way. So even what he's talking about, he's not even talking about it in the right way.
Yeah.
And so it's just, yeah.
And beware that he will bring up and throw Megan under the bus and try to, back up, roll over, come back again about this Eastern religion stuff. He will say, like, I was possessed. Basically, he's going to eventually claim that he was kind of in a folie à deux situation, a madness of two. So Megan convinced him all of this thing was right. He deep down knew that, it was wrong in his totally Catholic soul. But, he went along with it to please his wife because he's the ever-suffering victim. And, then he just couldn't pass. Nothing worked.
Yeah, it's just vile, is what it is.
Yeah.
Do you think you stabbed her or no?
I don't know. I didn't see any. I didn't see anything.
Okay. So how long would you say it took you to take her life?
The whole motion?
Yeah.
Like from the minute I was sitting in there, or from?
I would say once you initially take action. Okay. Did you have a knife with you?
Yes.
Which knife did you have with you?
The small knife.
Which is what color?
Green.
Okay, that's the green buck knife that you talked
Green
about.
buck knife, yes.
Okay.
All right.
I hate to keep pausing, but notice that he can identify the knife that he maybe used. He is going to say that he was Delulu in this, that he, they questioned him while he was has balls, as Tally would say. But he's differentiating the knives. So these are things that, again, are going to go against his generalized story, but he doesn't even realize
Yeah,
what he's doing right now.
exactly. Like there's a lot of subtlety that, like, if you pay close attention to what he's saying and what's going on here, once we get to the actual trial part, there's so many things that just can't be true that it's a little overwhelming to, like,
Yeah.
to you'll realize that you're like, oh my god, I didn't pick up on that, or I didn't pick up on that. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've watched
Oh, yeah.
things about this. So like I'm
Well, and it's the fact that he's not crying. Now, I get it. I don't like to cry in front of people. In fact, I hate it. It's right on that level of someone telling the waiters at whatever restaurant that it's my birthday, which should be, a Snake Island offense.
yeah.
But, it's... Where was I going with this crap? Anyway, I had a thought and it left. I'm sure it will circle back. Let's get back to this.
Yep.
So you had that in her bed.
Mhm.
So how long from the time that you had the knife out to the suffocation until you think that she was deceased?
I want to say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, around there. It seemed like that light night took forever, so it's hard to really gauge on the time.
Okay. And you said you used a pillow over her head?
Yes.
Was she face up or face down?
Oh, that's right. Okay, about him not crying. Thank you, Jem. It did circle back when someone told me what it was. Awesome possum. So I'm very stoic when it comes to this. When my husband passed, I just couldn't feel anything. I went very stoic. I was, focused on what needs to be done, things like that. And it's really been, many, many years before I could, cry about it or anything like that. So I kind of understand people who don't get hysterical, but this is beyond clinical. This is cold. So there is a difference between people who tend to, really be stoic and not get too emotional in front of people versus this giant pile of festering garbage.
Yeah. I could see that too.
She kept moving.
Yeah, because you were laying on top of her, you giant hippo.
I think she was on her back with her head towards the wall. So
Again,
in that
he's so
way.
crazy he can't remember anything.
So for 10 minutes to 15 minutes, you held a pillow over your daughter's head?
Mhm.
How long did she kick and scream?
Only for a couple of minutes.
A couple minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can we
So,
say
2
shout
minutes.
out to these cops?
I had no
Because it's right about now that I would tase him. Like, oh, he's got a weapon. It'd be like that. So it would be the South Park meme. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's very it's very disturbing to listen to this, and it's probably because there are like kids involved, and knowing what kind of comes after this and stuff too. Like, it's very difficult to listen to him talk about it so casually. I think is
Yeah.
maybe where my issues start.
It's the juxtaposition of just the absolute horror of the crime scene and what he did, and the clinical cold kind of detached, almost third person kind of talk that he's doing. He's definitely separated himself from the action. Like, look, I did it on Megan's behest. It wasn't me. She was the one tempting me with Nirvana, this kind of thing. So he kind of talks, it's not genuinely in the third person, but it's definitely like a disassociation. Like,
Yeah.
look, I did it, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that he's got going on here that it's just, yeah.
And I love that those yellow socks are so damn goofy.
I was wondering if anybody else had noticed those, if it was just me that was like hyper
No,
focused on
those are
them.
the hospital socks. I can't believe we wasted hospital socks on this douche. I'd have made him go barefoot, but I don't like feet, so I'm kind of glad they're covered.
True.
Welcome to full ADHD Mo, where all the thoughts and filterless thoughts go right out the mouth hole.
That's like a nursery rhyme.
I'll have to remember this time so I can remember to make shorts of this. Because I suck out loud at making shorts, but it is one of my quadrillion goals I would like to achieve this year.
No timer, but yes.
I'm just saying, guys, let's look at that.
And I just held the deck
For a
right
long time.
since.
Did the other children hear her?
No.
Did your wife hear her?
Howdy.
My wife kept going up. I felt her in the opening the door to see what was going on and shutting the door and walking back.
Okay.
Because you could see the light coming in.
Okay. So you think the sun was coming up, or
And-
was it just the light from the?
I call mega super duper BS because, again, any mom, I don't care how maybe delulu she is, there is something in you when your kid screams or cries. It's like and it's a different cry. So, you can kind of tell when it's like just a whine, like, okay, you ran into a wall. Okay, we'll get you an ice pack, that kind of thing. But when you hear like a panic pain cry scream, I mean, your heart rate goes up. It turns you into your lizard brain. You are like, search, find, figure out what's wrong.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it any more than that, but you just go into full on mama bear mode or papa bear mode. And even if you're an auntie or something like that, you hear that kind of scream, most adults, it turns on that protective thing. And the fact that he can just sit here and casually, because there is no way Megan was up. Because if Megan was up, he'd have a bunch of bruises.
Yeah.
There's light from the hallway.
A light bulb. Okay. So now Zoe is deceased. And what happens next?
Walk out. Sit with Megan in the room for a little while.
How is the body?
How do you mean?
How was the positioning? Where was the pillow?
There was a pillow behind her head, and her hands were out to the side, and I made sure the covers were on top of her, just in essence to keep her warm.
Did she have anything in her hands?
No, I had put a rosary in her hands later on when I moved.
When you moved?
A rosary, but you're going to Nirvana. It's the a la carte religion heaven, where you go in and you're like, I dabble in, Wicca and Christianity, and God's like, I don't know where the hell to put you. I'm putting you in this, a la carte heaven.
Yeah. It is a little weird. Again, he said they did all this research, but like he didn't do enough research to actually understand what it is that
Well-
he's talking about.
I mean, he had other things to do, like buy so many bottles of Benadryl, people probably thought he was into home chemistry, making crystal, I'm sure.
Yeah. And not the crystals that are used for healing.
Well, it depends on who you ask, but it always ends pretty badly with these crystals.
Yes.
With the bodies?
I moved the bodies, yes.
Okay, we'll get to that. And that was post-rigor?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, we're gonna have a little bit ahead of
No, that's fine.
Yes, this man
Okay.
waited to
So
move
Zoe's
all the
gone.
bodies until they were in rigor so it would be easier.
Console each other.
The
whatever you
level
guys
of
have to do.
psychopathy, I just
And
can't
then what
imagine.
happens?
We go into Alex.
Yeah.
Alex room.
Yes. The one next to the staff and the upstairs.
Well, upstairs.
Now, Alex was the oldest. Alex is the one that fought.
Yeah.
I do think Zoe probably had a big enough dose of Benadryl in her that she was just deeply, deeply asleep, but, started flailing because she couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
But Alec is the one that fought back. He tried. And that's the horrifying part for me. This little boy wakes up to a father who's turned into a monster, and he tries to fight him,
Yeah.
and he loses. And it's so incredibly sad. And just the way he just talks about it, just good lord. Okay, allegedly in Minecraft, if I could give this guy one good roundhouse punch, I'm not saying that I would start a fundraiser to be able to do so, but I would take the honor. I'm just saying.
You would highly consider it.
If elected, I will run. If nominated, if nominated, I will run. If elected, I will serve.
Yes.
Yeah. And beforehand, we had talked about the aspect of she's got to hold his feet down. And I'll do the stab.
How old's Alec?
13.
Okay, so he's the oldest. Okay. Okay, so what happens?
We walk in. He's on his back. She's just sitting there holding his feet together. We're just in there, just eyeing each other, just gaining the confidence, I guess, you know. And I go to, I stabbed him, and he started kicking, was trying to get up, and he kept rolling.
And there, right there, Megan was never there.
Yeah.
He specifically just said in his statement before that she was holding his feet. And then he starts kicking, but he never explains, like, Megan lost control of him. You know, he kicked Megan, you know, things like that. He is such a moron.
Yeah. It's very contradictory.
So I ended up putting there was a pillow there, and I put a pillow in the back of his head so he wouldn't hit me with the back of his head. And I reached around with my hand and held his nose in his mouth. And he kept rolling and kicking and rolling and kicking, and then it eventually stopped.
Where was Megan at?
Megan left midway through there and went back to the room.
All right.
X the doubt.
How long would you say it took to?
Yeah. Not
Sure.
ever happened.
That one I have no idea. It went quickly, but I don't know.
Okay. And there was blood and everything in his bed.
On his bed, yes.
Where did you stab him?
In the stomach, the same spot that we identified as, you know, where you could get the inferior vena cava.
And what area did you call that?
Inferior vena cava?
No. You called it earlier.
Abdomen?
It's overall the abdomen. I think you used another term earlier. It was
Umbilicus.
Yep. And this is where they're smart, though. They're getting him to repeat what he said.
You are
Is that
a little
something that
low
you-
again.
Oh.
Researched it, or you knew that from your profession?
So research them on ahead of time,
Okay.
especially on a website called Quora.com.
Let's spell that again.
QUORA.com.
QUORA.com.
Yes.
And what is Quora? If I go research this, what is it going to show me?
Quora.com, you can ask anything you want, and it's people feedback. We happen to find it just by looking up knife techniques. And you ask it anything, and they'll show you, and they'll tell you and explain to you the best way.
Wait a minute. This is a plot hole thing. So you're telling me people that failed in deletion are giving other people advice about how to do it better? It's like a Reddit forum for this insanity?
It's so Quora is basically like it's if anybody remembers like Ask Jeeves, except for instead
Okay.
of giving you like Google results like Ask Jeeves did, like basically people respond to you like it's like any forum, like if
Oh,
you're into
okay.
software development, like Stack Overflow is what you would use. It's like that, except for it's filled with a lot of trolly people.
Oh,
Because like I mean, who goes asks like dumb questions like this on there? So
Yeah.
you get a lot of very trolly things on there.
okay.
So like
I was just-
yeah,
It was like it's a how-to manual from people who didn't succeed? I'm confused.
yeah, no, it's like
So
it's hard to
kind of like-
explain.
it's basically an open forum where you can ask questions and crowdsource the answer.
Exactly. Like it's
Okay.
just like that. It's just, but you get a lot of, like you mentioned Reddit, like you get a lot of kind of trolly Reddit-ish
Yeah.
answers on things. So like, but that's what it is, and that's why it's like, why did you,
Oh,
as again, as a
okay. I thought
learned
it was maybe
person?
a website that kind of caters to people looking for, I
Oh
don't approve
no,
of it, but like self-deletion. So that makes more
no.
sense. I was always confused when, and it's a computer thing, so I'm not going to look it up.
Yeah, like no, there's I've seen like all kinds of like memes and stuff that people have posted of like stupid things that people have asked, and they've gotten an answer like, "Can I get pregnant if I swallow?" or things like that. Like the stupid things that people ask. And it's like, okay. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's, again, as a learned person, why would you be going there to ask this question? Because again, if you know all of these details about where to stabulate people, it's like, if you know all these fine details, like why would you need advice on that?
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was confused. I thought maybe it was just a site that kind of was emo. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, no, not that specialized. It's very general.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was kind of wondering what was. We have 30 minutes. We have to get through the kids so we can.
Yes,
But I think he babbles for forever.
he does.
To do things and where to do things, suggestions how to commit suicide.
I was gonna ask, is it like a suicide website or is it
It's an everything website.
I'm glad the detective is like, what the hell is this thing?
Nah, I don't know.
is it like medically based
It's
or?
not medically based. It's a lot of topics that people talk about, but don't, I guess, talk about on the internet. I just used it for suicidal techniques and also to get ideas how to do it with a knife.
When were you doing your research on Quora.com?
He got this plan from an effing 12-year-old who was, in between playing Call of Duty, calling everyone, all the words, and decided to troll answer this man.
Yeah, that is
Wonderful.
about as accurate of a description as you can get. Like it, yeah.
I'm just imagining either that or like a guy that looks. I've been on a South Park kick lately, but the World of Warcraft
Oh, yes.
episode. I'm just imagining a guy that looks like that giving all this stupid information.
Yeah, like it's. I'm trying to find like the top uh, current questions with answers or something right now.
Oh my gosh.
Just, uh, but yeah, like it's because anybody can answer. Anybody who has like a Google account or
Oh
Facebook
Lord,
account or
no.
whatever, like
Do
anyone
not
can answer.
crowdsource your answers for this kind of stuff. Do not. On a serious note, if you are, having a hard time, if you're struggling, please call one of the hotlines. Don't don't put your family through this. Things get better. I know it seems really dark sometimes and you're wondering how any of this will work out, but it will. Give it a little time. Don't make a permanent choice on a temporary situation.
Yeah.
Started that before.
I love that they say
Halloween.
Korea.com.
Yeah.
Where did you learn it? I know you may have said this. Where did you learn of Quora.com?
I happen to be just researching knife techniques. And it
Oh,
comes up
I'm
as
sorry,
a
Taz.
couple of questions came
People
up as
sometimes
well,
get really passionate
how do
about
I kill
weird
myself with a
things.
knife? So I clicked on that and it was Quora.com. So I clicked on Quora.com. There's a whole bunch of, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yes,
What the hell captions? First it was Korea.com, now it's Koran.com. Blessed be the closed captions, for from them all clarity flows.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of, there's a lot of stuff out there.
yes, the internet is very crazy. And there's some stuff. But when you typed in, when you were talking about knife techniques, like was it how to cut up some steak, or is it how to?
Offensive techniques, defensive knife techniques.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you've done your research on that.
This mother effer learned knife techniques like he's daggone Chuck Norris after listening to a couple of people posting on how to do stuff.
Yes. Like, it's.
Vielhammer,
Yeah.
why do I have the meme in my head, the meme video of the, let's say, Midwest fluffy guy with a lightsaber? I mean, he does a
Oh,
really good
yes.
job. I'm not, knocking him. I love Star Wars too. But I'm just seeing Mr. Todt, in the garage going, hi-ya, hi-ya, hi-ya.
Yeah.
After it just,
Yes, with the flailing around with the lightsaber. I can't remember the name of that video, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
yes. I don't know why, but that's all I can imagine him doing in the garage, like pretending to be flippin' Chuck Norris, Tech Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just, and again, he is just a butthole.
Going back pre-Halloween.
Yeah.
You
Huh, that phone came on again.
did you create
Interesting.
any type of accounts or anything like that?
You go in, you ask questions. The suicide ones, when I was asked about suicide, once you clicked in 2 or 3 times, like the links, it asks you to verify your age through Google.
Okay.
So you just click out and just do 3 more times without.
So you don't have to have like a login or a sign-in name or any create an account.
You can create an account, but you don't have to.
You don't have to. Do you remember which device you were using when you were researching Quora.com?
Horror.com.
My
Give
iPhone,
up.
I don't know what the phone number for that is. I want to say it's 0742 or something like that.
0742. You mean the passcode
No, the phone number to it.
for the iPhone?
Yeah,
What was the passcode for that one again?
5108.
5108.
Correct.
Just for your iPhone, which is what you did the research for Quora.com with.
That, and also
Oh my God, they finally got it right.
Surface tab.
Surface tablet.
Yep.
When did you do this research on the tablet?
Intermittently between.
Is there a login or is there a sign in or a passcode for your tablet?
Passcode for my tablet is 75. It's a phased one, but I'm pretty sure it's 7577. Capital G, lowercase ULA.
.com. So just tablet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that this detective is like me. So do you have to add a .com and those little backslashy things to that? Because
Yes.
those things suck.
Yes.
But the detective's like, I don't understand not any of this. And
Yeah.
thank God he's got the quiet guy writing down the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. It is funny, like, listening to a lot of police detectives and stuff. Like, it seems like it's kind of surprising, unless they're just playing dumb, about like how little they actually understand how to use the internet.
To be fair, I have not one clue. Oh my gosh, I might have one reason I could be a cop.
And see, you got something in your favor.
Woo! Life goal achieved. I'm gonna get a piece of cake after this. This is momentous.
It's supposed to be a donut.
Well, we don't have donuts, and I really don't want to go outside. And come to think of it, if I order it from Walmart and have them deliver, I feel like the world's most lazy person ever.
But I suppose it would work if it was a cake donut.
Ew, I hate cake donuts. Except for the sour cream old-fashioned ones. Okay, we found a one that I can do.
Okay.
Balance is yet again around the universe.
Okay. So, getting back to taking the life of Alec. And is it A-L-E-K? Okay. Alec, who is 13. You're saying that you were solely responsible for his life loss, his murder. Okay. Your wife, at this point, was where?
She had gone back to the room.
Okay. Had you given the children any medications prior to this night? I know you talked about the pie or whatever that your wife had made. Up until this point, were the children routinely given any type of medications?
We give them some supplements in there,
Okay.
but
All right. So the night in question, they weren't under the influence of anything. They were just normal.
they had the
What'd you call it, pie or something?
pie. Yeah. But then that didn't work that night. I don't remember if we gave them anything. Because those are two separate nights. We tried the pie one night.
You tried it before.
Mm-hmm. But I don't remember if we tried anything in that next night or not.
So you didn't try to like sedate them or anything like that prior to killing them?
They were asleep.
Jesus Christ. The coldness with which he said they were asleep. Like,
Yeah.
again, God bless you officers, because they'd have needed to get the entire, what the like resistance force team or whatever it is to get me off of this man after that one. Again, reason number 50 billion, I shouldn't be a cop. But I have one
Yeah.
reason I could be a cop. I love donuts. And I'm bad at technology. Holy crap, there's two. Gonna go sign up.
They'll take you.
Yeah, I'll fill the, neurodivergent and, well, Jimmy Pass sort of quota. My mom hates that so much. I'm like, I have a Jimmy Pass, not a Timmy Pass. You know what I mean? And she's like, that is so disrespectful. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
do.
but
All right, let's continue.
Doesn't make sense why we wouldn't. We must have given him the cough medicine again. We must have given him the cough medicine again.
I'm just thinking if you're trying to
No,
do something like that, and you've done a lot of preparation. I mean, you started
about the guy that started bleeding quite a bit, but then being strong, he kept moving. So then again, I had to put a pillow on top of my hand, and he went really, really, really quick.
so long blood.
I didn't see much blood because I had it covered up. Like how much blood coming out. I could feel the blood coming out because it was all over my hand.
Make it make sense. You
But
have you have him covered up, but you really want to get this particular umbilicus spot.
yeah,
Make it make sense, Todd. Make it make sense.
yeah.
It's-
With the boys, which knife did you use?
It was all the green knife for the kids, and
The buck.
they're both buck knives, but the green knife was the kids, and the one Megan used to stab herself with.
She also used the green.
Yes,
Okay.
because we established the fact that I had to get a bigger knife for myself because my body mass is bigger to get the same thing.
You'd need a mother effing bread knife.
Are you trying to say he's soft, Mo?
No, I'm trying to say that the bread knife is the longest knife unless you want to get a butcher knife. I work in the kitchen a lot, but to actually reach to the he'd need a what are those fencing swords? And I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be body shamey actually now. I mean sort of a little bit. But to get to his inferior vena cava, you have to go through approximately like 14 inches of, because women carry dermal fat around their middle. So if you've noticed like a guy with a big belly, it's always quite solid. Like it's not as, especially a belly like that. That's internal or around your organs fat. So it just, men carry fat differently, but to be, brutally honest, you'd need at least 16-inch knife for him.
Yeah.
And the bread knife is the longest one, but it's not, it's serrated at the bottom and dull at the tip. So, I mean, take some effort. Yes.
Yeah, you have to work at it.
Well, you know, he did shoot himself with an airsoft gun.
True.
This man is insufferable.
Okay. So Tyler, in which room downstairs was Tyler?
Tyler was in the library room downstairs.
Library room. So if I walk in the house, where at?
You got to walk in the house. The first room on the left is the music room. The second room on the left is the library room with the double French door things.
Okay. And that's the room. Was he on a mattress? Was
He
he?
was on the mattress, and the mattress. My wife is very adamant about mattress covers. And so he was on top of the mattress cover and all his.
All right. And thank you, MLS, for gifting 5 memberships. And they went to, I'm going to say Nicole, but if I'm pronouncing it wrong, let me know. Yanni Granny, Margaret Adam, the beautiful Bernice, and Marley Mum. So I'm going to write those tickets down and put them in the thing. Thank you so much, MLS, and welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate sarcasm and my boys screaming in the background. I'm really so tempted to build a bunker. You have no idea. Not gonna lie. I need all the bunkers. I just need a soundproof room.
Yeah.
So thank you, MLS. I will put that on there. And I am trying to finish this up so we get beyond the kids, and I will skim this interrogation to see if there's any more talking about them. And then I can put timestamps or let you guys know, because I haven't actually seen this interrogation for a while. So
Yeah, I do think they circle back to them at some point.
yeah, and as long as I can give you guys a heads up, I know that people appreciate it. Some people, again, kid cases are just not the best for them. So I completely understand and want to kind of give you guys heads up. So I will watch the rest of this. I generally do that, but I did not this week.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going just so we can get this
Blankets and
done.
everything.
Okay. Did that mattress stay downstairs?
You're not wrong.
That mattress stayed downstairs. The cover and everything else was brought up when I brought him up to the room.
So obviously there should be, if he bled or bled out, there should be signs of that on the mattress.
The mattress was clean because of the cover,
What do you mean by cover?
by the mattress cover.
Okay, which is cloth.
I don't know what it is, but it doesn't allow fluid or anything to go through.
Alright.
When I moved him, I was under the cover.
So that's sometime later.
Correct.
Okay. Alright. So Tyler is killed. Who's in the room when he's killed?
It's just me and Tyler. Megan is outside the door.
What is she saying during any of this?
She's doing meditations.
Was she drinking or consuming anything?
Your wife was doing Hare Krishna like hymns as you are unaliving her babies.
Allegedly.
Sure, Jan.
Yeah.
Sure. And it could be a waterproof mattress cover, which makes sense because I have children, and when I am in charge of making their beds, those always go on. When I'm having trouble with walking up the stairs, they do not go on. So some of our kids' mattresses are pristine, and some of them are, well, they are what they are.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to stop here. I am sending you guys over to Baker for his griftathon, and then I will be over there for a little bit to hang out with him for his griftathon. I think he is handing out Lego ornaments and Lego nutcrackers and candy. So get over there if you'd like to win some Lego stuff. It has been a great time. I will be, so my goal is to do a stream or a premiere where I think I just talk with you guys in chat. But there are a bunch of things on the docket for Anthony Todt that Jedi just sent me, and she kind of skimmed through them and it looks like he might be going for a retrial. Now, I doubt that that's going to happen, but
Yeah.
he is giving it a try. So I will be making a murder board. Wednesdays will, in theory, always have a tie-in to Legal Shenanigans Theater since I don't do nightly newsy news that day. So I'll have an afternoon something or other going on that kind of relates. I am going to do a murder board. Murder board is coming back. So that is all there. Do you have anything coming up that you would like to tell us about?
No, I don't actually. I'm just chilling.
Sounds good. Well, I sometimes I forget to ask you and then I feel bad. So I'm really just asking you to relieve my guilt.
You're good. It's that good old Catholicism coming back out, Mo.
You know what? That's what really gets me. This is why I have so much rage against Anthony Todt and Sarah Boone. How the hell do you go through life without 900,000 pounds of guilt and remembering every single one of your sins, whether they be venial or cardinal, and you still know that, and you feel the urge to go to confession sometimes. But they always have the scary Jesus picture up. I know it's the Sacred Heart Jesus, but it's the scary open heart Jesus to me. Which is why I was in trouble with my grandma once, because she was Shiite Catholic. And she's like, why don't you like this picture? I'm like, because it's the scary Jesus picture. And she's like, how dare you? I was like, well, you asked me the damn question, and I told you the damn answer, and then the answer was wrong. I didn't say that, but I did think that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Please don't forget to like and share if you want, if you think this would brighten someone's day, or maybe not this particular one, but other Legal Shenanigans theaters. I think there is a big space or a big opening for, a little bit more humor tinged with the with the interrogations. There's so many people out there that already do the body language and they're using the read technique and all that. So I figure there's a spot for, giving you guys information, but also roasting.
Can you make kimchi tomorrow?
Yes, roasting them.
No, I can't make kimchi tomorrow. I'm very sorry. You go out and please shut my door.
And where else
Kimchi
are you going to
takes-
get ferals?
Yes, I'm going to ferment cabbage tomorrow, apparently.
I mean, I suppose.
Of all the questions I thought I'd be asked today, making kimchi was not one of them.
That's funny.
Well, I am sending you guys over to Baker. Thank you so much for joining and, being here with us. This is a heavy case, but it needs to have the light shined on it, especially, if he's trying to get a new trial. Probably will never happen, but let's hope not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.